Everybody, welcome to my channel Homeschool Honey. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how I've made these masks, and these are ones that have a pocket for an insert. This is from Craft Passion. I'll link the pattern, the blog post down below so you can see. I really liked this pattern because they gave different size options as far as women's / teenager, men, kids. There was also an option for a wire across the nose to really shape it better. And I wanted to create this video because I also changed up a few things as far as the strings and just in solidarity to show everybody what we're doing over at our house as far as the masks go. So this is what they end up looking like. I will put this caveat out there. I am not an amazing seamstress, so you will notice very crooked seams, but they work in the end, and that's what counts. So let me show you what we're doing. So I found that using a different fabric for the outside and the inside so that you can see which is the right and wrong side of the mask is really helpful. It's also helpful when you're sewing. So first things first is you cut out the mask side. You cut two of each one for the outside and for the inside lining. I found that if I do a bunch of them at once, like cut out a whole bunch of masks and then just repeat the same process, you know, cutting all at one time and then sewing the front seam all at one time and then turning them inside out all at one time, it seems to go by a lot faster. So you might see some different fabrics throughout the video because I switched things around here. I noticed, uh-oh, I need to take that and iron it. I messed that up. Let's go iron that. So I got that all ironed out, and I'm going to be speeding up some of these areas that I'm showing you because it could be tedious just watching me cut fabric. So next up, I'm cutting out all the inside lining of the masks, and I cut out a number of those so that I have them all ready to sew as well. Next up, you'll take the pieces and you're going to put them right side together, and then you are going to pin along the face edge, the very center of it, and then we will be stitching those together along that edge. And so yeah, I'm going to go pin these all together and then start sewing them. Next up, we're going to sew along these edges, and apparently look at the back of my hand for a second. So I'm going to let the sound of the sewing machine come forward on these because there's something really relaxing about it to me. So the next thing that you'll do is snip little bits along the edge of this so that when it's time to iron it over, it's easier for the little pieces to lay flat. So you'll go along all these and snip, snip, snip. Once you've got them all snipped and you've carefully not snipped the seam, you're going to fold them over to one side, both of them, and iron them flat. Once you've got that done, you're going to open it up, and as you can see, they're laying flat to one side, and you're going to flip it over. You're going to top stitch to keep that pressed down to one side. So let's do it. So here you can see I have top stitched it down, and of course my seams are not perfectly straight because I'm not an expert seamstress, but it gets the job done. So like I said, I've been doing a whole stack of these. So next you're going to take the front and the lining and you're going to put them right sides together, and then you're going to pin those down. So as you can see, those are my seams. Going to get those right sides together, pin them down, and then we're going to sew across the top and the bottom. All right, let's do this. So here is the top part stitched together, and then I'm going to come along and stitch the bottom part together. So once you're done with that, you're going to turn them right side out. This one I've already pressed, so this is what it's going to look like when it's done. But when you first turn it right side out, this is what it looks like. So you got to come over to the ironing board and get those seams flattened out with the iron. So you do it both on both sides, and then it'll start looking like it's taken a bit better shape. So here's what they look like all pressed out. Now before we can start working on the straps to tie them on, we need to top stitch along the top and the bottom, but we want to make sure that we're not affecting the pocket, so we have to stay close to the edge as much as we can. So here it is. We've got the top stitch along the top and the bottom, and now we are going to be ready to start working on the side panels for the straps. So as you can see, I still have my pocket. Now if you want to leave a wider gap to be able to string the rope through, or the whatever you're using for tying it on, then you could leave a little bit more or cut a little bit more fabric there to make a bigger pocket. I ended up not doing it that way on these, and I'm just sewing the strings on that I am going to show you how to make. But first, let's sew the sides down. So we made some of our masks with elastic to go around the back of the head. The only problem I found was that everybody had a different size head, and so I started going ahead and making these straps. What I did was I cut an inch wide piece of fabric and I'm ironing it down, and I'm kind of making it like what do you call it, like bias tape. I had some bias tape, but I used that up pretty quickly, so I'm basically making my own bias tape. So I'm folding both sides into the center and ironing those down, and then I'm going to be flipping those together, ironing those down, and then sewing them up to make a string. So I'm going to speed it up so that you can see it a little faster. So now that I've got my string or my strap that I'm going to use, as you can see, not a super straight line because, as I said, I'm not a perfect seamstress or, yeah, total novice. Anyway, it serves its purpose. So then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to sew this on to my mask, and I want to make sure that I backstitch these as well because I want to make sure they are very secure on there. So here's what it looks like on the, again, messy, but it works. And here it is, the top part is done. I need to sew on the bottom. But as you can see, here's how it looks with the bottom strap on. I like this straps better because you can tie them tighter. They weren't as effective with my kids because they wanted to be able to take them off and put them on. So I did have to finagle the elastic for the kids and really measure it out. But it was harder because, as I said, people have different sized heads, so the elastic was kind of hard for me to figure out the sizing for. Let me know if you have any patterns for making these masks that you have enjoyed, and I hope you all are staying safe out there. Best wishes, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Bye.